What's up, y'all? This is unapologetic, where she don't come to play. And today we have a special guest on my channel. This is my first collab. We're waiting for her to come in. I just sent her the link. But this live is about motherhood, the journey of motherhood. And as you can see, I am with my little one right now. But we're just gonna talk a little about our journey in motherhood and just overall mom life. So um I'm going to wait for my guest. Wait for my guest to come in. Okay, she's here. Hello.
Hello. I thought I was gonna be like all free. Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
me too. I got caught
Yeah,
up.
you're looking beautiful.
Thank you. So are you? I like your
Thank you.
background.
Yeah. Oh, it's in my dining room, kitchen area. Yeah.
Yeah, hi little one. What's your daughter's name?
Christiana.
Christiana.
Yeah.
Say hi, Pop. Say
What's her?
hi.
What's his name?
Pop.
Pop. Pop.
Pop. Like pop. Mhm.
Pop. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's cute. Say hi, Pop. Look at her face.
She looks
She's
just
ready
like
to
you.
drop something. Huh?
She looks just like you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
That's your twin.
yeah. You bring the towel? This is not a blanket. Bring a blankets. Yeah. Because
So we came here to do a little live about the
yes.
journey of motherhood. There's no viewers right now, but we're just gonna
Yeah.
talk for the playback. So
Yeah.
I want my special guest to introduce herself.
Yeah. So hi, my name is Nutella. Positive vibes, just smile. Network
Yes.
coming up. Yes. So it's a pleasure to be here today. And guys, you need to stick around until the end because I know whatever we're gonna be discussing today or tonight is will be interesting.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of run myself on restream
Mm.
on my laptop. Uh, go live without. Oh no. So how was your day today?
It was all right. It was a down day. I was tired, so I took a little rest day today.
Yeah,
How about you?
it's kind of hard, with a little one, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be late. I'm always late on something. Yeah, it's a
Hello,
good one.
hello, hello, everyone coming in.
When you're custom,
I'm talking to the viewers coming in.
and there's a lot too.
I know.
Yes, it's good.
Make
It's
sure you
good.
like
It's
the
good.
live, y'all. Make sure you like it
Yes,
up.
yes. Like the live, stick around. Stick around. And if you guys are mothers, want to be mothers in the future,
Yes.
I'm sure we're gonna give some tips. We're gonna have some
Yes.
tips for you today.
You're gonna want to tune in, y'all.
Yes, I love that. I love that. You can thank you. This is gonna be interesting. Yeah. Also, okay, so I'm live. I think I'm on live on Restream on my side. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
So where we
no,
gonna begin?
yes. Did you went to a postpartum during your?
I went through postpartum with my first two,
Mm-hmm.
but this one I didn't really have as I'm not gonna say I didn't, but I didn't really like recognize it as much as I did in my first two.
Okay. And do you think it's because, like, as you know, sometimes we as mom, we always want to be strong, or
Mhm.
you know?
I feel like I had a little bit more help this time, which is why
Okay.
I didn't like really notice it as much as I did my first two because it was kind of like I had support, but I didn't have support. It was kind of like me doing everything. So this time I have a little more hands on. So It's a little bit better.
Yeah, girl, I give my baby this bag anywhere. So,
Don't worry. So he'll be
so
getting one too, but not right now.
exactly.
He got some in the bottle.
Oh, okay. You give her. That's good. She don't really like the milk, and
Mm,
actually the milk is it's kind of a bit terrible though. The taste, because
yeah,
I did taste it. It doesn't taste too well.
yeah. Not
So
compared to the breast milk.
yeah, and the it's free and fresh all the time.
Right. Right. As soon as my baby's hungry, he goes start gnawing at my
Yeah,
his hands
exactly.
like this on my shirt.
Yeah.
He's like,
So
give it up.
yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have three.
Three. Okay. I have six.
Six? Ooh, how is
Yeah.
it with six kids?
I mean, well, my youngest here, she's how
Hmm,
old are you? She's 7 months, and the one before her, she's 9 years.
9 years
She's
old?
9, yeah, and my oldest, she's like 26.
Wow.
So they are all the first batch, I have to say. They are more
Right?
older children. Yeah, they're more older kids. I have a son. He's 23. He's
Hmm.
23 and 19. I have eight, no, 20.
So you got
Um,
grown kids.
exactly. So they are grown kids. But as mom, we always gonna always say, well, like kids, so you make it look like, oh, you have a lot of small kids, but
Right.
they are kind of like grown. So it's basically just me and this little one, and my daughter. She's 9 years old.
Hmm.
9, yeah.
So everyone else is out the house.
I don't even know if they're out or they're in, because they always popped
They
out.
still come back.
Yes, yes, they have their own life.
Hmm.
They have their own life, So
Yeah.
it's kind of good, cool.
Right.
Having a little one and having older ones. Sorry, guys, but
Yeah.
I have to pop it back in.
So
You know,
how
yeah,
was that transition? You know how they say teenage years, they start getting they puberty hits and they start getting their little attitudes and stuff. How was that transition from like
actually,
young children to the teens?
I must say that I'm actually blessed because I never really had that problem with my kids.
Hmm.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the way how I was like, kind of raised them. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I kind of very much also understanding mom.
Hmm.
So I try to understand their feelings and always do ask them about how they feel. So
How
I
they
try to
feeling and stuff.
understand their psychology, because that is important. And sometimes we as mom, especially when we are from a cultural background, we
Hmm.
all would tend to like, okay, do as I said,
Hmm.
and that's it. But I
Right.
didn't bring my kids like that. I didn't kind of raise them like that, because their feelings are important to me,
Hmm.
and I want to make sure that their voice is being heard, and
Hmm.
they have their own opinion, or they're able to
You
state
giving
that
them
their
their
feeling.
freedom to make their mistakes and then you know.
Exactly. So I believe, I'm a true believer in freedom, and that is very important.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Well, congratulations for giving, you know, breaking that cycle because not a lot of
yeah,
people they just go by what their parents. Oh, well, my parents did this and my parents did that. You are setting your own lane for your kids
exactly.
to
Yes.
feel open and to understand themselves because that I feel like when the parents allow their children to be themselves to explore, it gives them more of a freedom to be who they really truly want to be and find
Yeah.
themselves authentically rather than your parent being strict and telling you, oh, you need to go to school, you need to do this, you need to do that. I see a
Yes.
difference. I see a lot difference. I see more of the people that are supporting their kids more successful than the people who are
Mhm.
like, you need to do.
It's a suffocation, and that is something that my child just in my this child, oh, I beg, I think they can see me anyway. My AV stream, she just touched the screen. Sorry about that.
Mhm.
And I kind of lost my thought. Girl, you distract me, eh?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's I don't even know where I was going because she distracted me a bit. But I kind of it is very important for me, and also it's important for my kids for them to understand, their own psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for them to really understand it to the point as young teen, I
Mm-hmm.
have to understand them so
Yeah.
that they could have more understanding of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know, you
Yeah.
understand the
Yeah.
logic? Understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because some
when
parents don't even care, honestly. They're like,
I
oh,
do,
well,
yeah,
that's you. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do care, and I'm a true believer in freedom. I'm a true believer in freedom, and controlling sometimes it could go beyond suffocation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And a lot of us sometimes as parents we get confused between discipline
Mm-hmm.
and controlling.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the parents we go beyond too far of not giving our kids a
Mm-hmm.
choice or giving them a voice,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and let them know that they have value. They have
Right.
value. They have taste. They
Mm-hmm.
have a choice. They could say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, mama, I love this one. And then you could say, oh, yeah, this is so nice. I love that one that you picked. These
Mm-hmm.
things are very important because this is how our children is going to grow up and, have their own image into this world and
Mm-hmm.
grow up with a self-esteem where they would, they would not be
Mm-hmm.
afraid,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
is the reason why you are the way you are because your parents were strict or
I think like I just have a mindset of my own. Honestly, I don't think it's because of any, I don't think it's because of my, the way how I brought up, like being strict. I don't think it's
Mhm,
because, I had that growing up or anything like that. I think
mhm,
it's because of most of part of my experience in my life. I use that to turn the table of giving my kids, you know, making sure that my kids feel loved,
mhm.
valuable, and have a voice. You
Yeah,
know, and
right.
sometimes we go through things in our life, and the choices that we make, it could make us stronger, or it can break us. It could make us do better, or it can make us
Mhm,
do worse. So
mhm,
I just choose the other way of how am I gonna grow and become a better person,
mhm.
a better parent, because every parent want to be better than their parents.
Yeah,
So
right.
and I
Yeah,
think
because I was
that
saying,
is just it, and
yeah,
it's
that's I was saying that because I grew up in a strict Christian household and stuff, so I tried to like
hmm
you said, you don't want to be like your parent. Like some
yeah,
people don't want to be like their parent. I'm one of those people who don't want to be like my parent, and
yeah,
I feel
absolutely,
like
yeah,
I kind of like challenged myself to not be like her because of what I've been through and I see what it does for me. So I kind of feel like I'm in a crossroad because I do want to give my kids the freedom, but then I see like the influence in like the other children who don't
yeah,
have the same upbringing and stuff, and they're kind of
mhm,
more like a little bit more wild. It kind of
yeah.
conflicts for me because like my daughter is in
Mhm,
middle school now, so she goes by she kind
mhm,
of she listens to what I say, but then she kind of gets under the influence of her friends and she thinks
yeah,
she can like get snappy with me and stuff like that. So I try to like find the middle ground,
yeah,
of giving them their freedom and still putting my foot down.
yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna ask you, how do you discipline your children? Like, how do you
It's not
discipline?
much like of
Huh?
discipline. It's more like you're not gonna be watching TV, no like phones and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and you have to write a letter of why you did this, that, and the third, right? But it's
yeah,
not like, oh, you got to do this, wash the dishes, and beating and stuff like that because I just don't feel like that's me, you
hmm
know. But I feel like what I'm doing is not enough at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like as parents, we could only do our best, and
Right.
when you do your best, that's the most important thing because we can't do more than our best,
Right.
and we're gonna always make. That's my opinion. We would
Mhm.
always make a mistake. We're gonna make an error because we're human, and being a parent is like we're learning on the way as well
Yeah.
because every time is a new challenge and every child that comes is something different than the first one. We
Right.
just know the experience that we have with the first child, but that doesn't mean a second child we're gonna have the same experience because their
Right.
personality are all different, you know?
Yeah. That's true.
So being a parent, we're gonna really make mistake in life and is that we're just gonna have to maneuver and learn from it,
Right.
from my experience. And I think also my kids with my older kids, I had the energy. I was
Mhm.
younger. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, like I'm still young. You know,
Yeah. Right. You still do. You look good.
thank you. You know, so with my younger kids, I had the energy and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And actually, I just thank God, you know, because my kids, they I never really had like too much of a issue. They listen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they listen and
Because they got a good mama.
yeah, thank you. And you know what? And that's I'm like a fun mama, you know.
Hmm.
I dance with them, I dance and I be happy and
Hmm.
you know, we do a lot of things together. Like, you know,
Hmm.
I dance with them. I don't just be like a mom, a strict mom. There's a time where there's respect is due at all
Hmm.
times.
Right.
But I also I the way how I brought them to see that okay I could dance and I could have fun, you know, with my kids, and then I could
Hmm.
be a mom, and then I could go to work, and I can be serious, and I can do this, and I can do
Hmm.
that, and it makes them not to be afraid to kind of open up to a level. And
Hmm.
also, okay, you know, you're not supposed to do that because
Hmm.
they already know they have, you know, they have some freedom of doing some, you know, like just
Hmm.
enjoy. So if
Right.
I'm giving you as a mom the freedom of enjoying to make some little choices for yourself, yo,
Hmm.
you gotta listen to me.
Right.
You know, you gotta listen. If you can't, you can't because at times you would have. I remember
Hmm.
one time my little daughter, we went to the dollar store and I told her you're allowed to take two things,
Hmm.
and she wanted to take more. You know, yeah, and I said no, we are going home.
Right.
Yeah, because when I tell her no, she started to cry. And I said,
Right.
no, we are going home. I leave the two things and I take her out and we go straight back home. She never tried that again.
I bet you did it. Do you go?
Yeah. So,
Do you have those moments where you feel bad for them?
no,
That's my
no,
problem. That's probably what my problem is. I be feeling bad for them. Their little sad face and stuff. I'm like,
no.
no,
The kids are very highly manipulated.
they are. My
Yeah,
daughter knows that.
they know how to manipulate us. But
No,
I don't play that game. I'm not gonna play that game. I'll feel if I know you're hungry, I'll feel bad for you. Okay, yo, I gotta feed you.
right,
You know, if you're crying and see you're hungry, I'll be like, oh, you need to eat. I'm gonna make
mhm,
sure you're well fed.
right,
But when you see, especially you go outside, you go to the store, and then you want to cry and be in all that for something. No, I
mhm,
don't. I'm not gonna tolerate that
right,
because sometimes some of the kids they will wait until they're good inside, but
mhm,
they'll wait until they get outside to misbehave.
right, exactly.
You know?
Because they know that you're gonna feel some type of way about them acting the way they are.
Exactly, and they also know the system that we can't give them a slap. You know,
Right. Or we'll settle the consequences.
we can't say like, okay, stop, stop. You know, because
Right.
then they know like the system here, you can't hit your child.
Right.
You know, but
And
I
then
never really,
and I find it so funny because my kids be outside and they see other kids acting up and they be looking at me. I'm like, I don't know what you look at me
yes, you
because
just
you
like
ain't no
give them.
different.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'll just like give the eye
Right.
and the face. I give the eye and the face, and they already know.
Right.
You know, so I don't even have to. I don't have to talk. You
Yeah.
know, so but motherhood is great. You know,
Yeah.
I encourage anybody you want to have kids, have a lot of children. It's a blessing
with the right
with the
circumstances.
right circumstances and the right person, the right
Person,
partner.
yeah.
You know,
So what would you say was your hardest part about your journey in motherhood?
my hardest. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, your hardest like challenges about motherhood.
Oh gosh. Honestly, because I can't even say what is the hardest because I've like kind of grown to be such a strong person that
Mhm.
nothing becomes difficult for me.
So what about in the beginning when
Like
your
in the
first
beginning,
kids?
yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Like in the beginning of my first pregnancy, like I really didn't have anybody to tell me a lot of stuff. I really didn't have that, so I didn't have the guidance,
Mhm.
and I didn't know I was supposed to create my, I didn't have the guidance on my
Mhm.
first pregnancy, so it was like kind of difficult. That
Mhm.
one,
Yeah.
yeah, my first pregnancy was difficult, and even the
So.
second one was a little bit challenging,
Mhm.
challenging as well. But
Mhm.
those are like things that I've overcome. So because I've grown to such a level, it's
Mhm.
like going. You don't thinking about, but it does. It never exists.
Right.
Yeah, because this is like a new phase.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like what happened in the past never really it's like never really exists.
Right.
And the funny thing is, like with my second child,
Mhm.
it was so funny because I was in a kind of situation, and when I got pregnant with him, which I
Mhm.
did told him I wanted to take an abortion.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried. I mean,
Oh
like, I'm
wow.
not something that I'm proud to say,
Uh
but
huh.
I'm something that it could enlighten a lot of people,
Mhm. Yeah.
But it didn't happen, and I just thank God so much.
Right.
I told him about it.
Mm.
I didn't hide it or anything like that.
Mhm.
I mean, like, people do that all the time. I'm not saying it's right,
Right.
or anything like that. But it's just to see, like, it didn't happen. And my son, he's a trainer. I mean, like, he's gonna help train me. Bring my
Oh,
body
excuse
back to
me.
what they did. Yeah?
I said,
And
excuse me.
he's such an amazing, amazing. I couldn't ask for a better son.
Oh, so
So
that means
it's
that
like,
all
could
that pays for
imagine,
what you didn't do.
huh?
I said all that pays for what you didn't do.
Well, exactly, and that is one of the reasons why I could actually talk about it, because sometimes we don't even know we don't know what could happen,
Hmm.
we don't know what the future holds, and
Hmm.
it's so sometimes I'm like, what, it's like that
Right.
is what I could have missed out on,
Hmm.
you
Right.
know.
What if I would have did this? Then you would have been probably in regret.
Exactly, and he's he's amazing.
Hmm.
Both of
That's good.
my sons, they're amazing.
So
But because I want, yeah,
how many girls and how many boys?
I have two boys and I have four girls.
How is it with the girls?
But the girls, they're okay. The girls are okay. I think with the boys, you're worried about the boys more than the
Hmm.
girls.
Hmm.
Because the boys, you have to think about the boys, get in trouble with the wrong woman. Because,
Hmm.
women, we are devious at
Yeah.
times. So that is something that I I could think about sometimes.
Mhm.
You're more stressed about the boys than the girls. That's in my case.
Really. So
Yeah,
even with like knowing how it is for girls, that you're still more worried for your boys.
yeah, and more you get more stressed because, like, any you could go out, your boy could go out there, and a girl could lie on them and say something, and they could get
Mhm.
them into
That's
such a
true.
trouble. There's so many things that you worried about your boys more
Hmm.
than the girls. The thing that we will think about the girls is to maybe to go out there and get involved with the wrong person and get a broken heart and stuff
Right.
like that, which you think about the boys as like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you just with the girls, you would think about like the type of people who you bring around them. We have to
Hmm.
protect them. Also, we have to protect the boys.
Right.
And this is something that people we don't really talk about. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? But it's becoming more open and open that we really have to protect little boys as well from
Yeah, especially with
type of
this
predators.
justice system.
Exactly. So yeah, so but yeah, the boys you're more worried you know because
Mhm.
another thing is boys develop more less faster than girls. Girls
Mhm.
develop very fast and they become more
Mhm.
responsible at an earlier age than
Yeah.
boys. And they say boys will always be boys, men
Right.
will always be boys, to an extent, you
Right.
know. So they are more vulnerable.
Hmm. Right. So, do you think that you are more hands on with your boys than your girls?
If
Because you know
I'm more
how
like,
females are more independent than boys. So, as they get older, were you more hands on with your boys or your girls?
well, I don't think I was more with with any. I
Mm-hmm.
think I was just it was just the same level. Is that I just open and talk to my boys a lot, and you know I different scenario. I even they open up on certain things, and I show them like example, how to love and how a woman is gonna wanna be loved, and in the
Mm-hmm.
future, and make sure that they have their stuff together. They have the chances. So they have the chances until they reach some age to put their life
Mm-hmm.
together and and do something before they have to go into manhood. You know,
Right.
even though they're
Right.
already in manhood. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
yeah. So I was. It's just a matter of like, as a woman, have some open conversation with our son. So
Hmm.
that's where they will find the right woman, and
Hmm.
they will find the right person to not to be loved, but also to show love
Hmm.
too. And
Right.
those things are very important. We as mother, we have to train our boys, our sons, to be great husband.
Right.
And so that is the role that I try to put. I try to put, you know, into their mindset, and being
Hmm.
as a mom that I don't back down on anything, and I've worked very hard to build something for myself.
Hmm.
So I have left that example for them as to being resilient.
Hmm. Yeah.
you know
Right.
and sometimes like we'll say, okay, like we will be talk, but children, they don't listen. They do listening, they hear,
Hmm.
because
Right.
in the future they'll always remember. But
Right.
they more do what we do.
Yeah.
So
Right.
when they see that we're being good example as a yeah, little friend. Yeah, little friend. When they see that we're being as a good example, they're gonna want to be better than us.
You talking
Because
about? Yo, they're talking. I'm sorry.
yeah, because we always want to be better than our parents.
Right.
You know.
So are you one of those that like resent your children from being a part of the LGBT, or are you open to whatever life brings them? Or you never had that question asked to you?
I don't think that question is.
Next question.
Oh my god! I mean, like, I never really to say. I never really talk about that, but at the same time,
Yeah, it's that we're at that time where I feel like we have to,
uh,
because you just don't know nowadays.
I know, but it's not like, because the way how I've raised my kids. I raised my kids in the church.
Mhm.
We used to go to church, so there's some things that they already know, and
Mhm.
we do have conversation, but like not directly to them, and some
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
So I mean, at the end of the day, whatever your your children come and Holy shit. And decided that they want to
You
do.
don't want to
I
say the
mean, like,
wrong
what are
thing.
we gonna do as parents? You know,
Right.
understand me? We have to accept them, you
Mhm.
know, in certain decision,
Right.
to an extent. It's just a matter of guidance because
Hmm.
some things could be very difficult
Yeah.
to swallow.
Right. And I know I've seen like a lot of people always talk about their like coming out story and how their
Mhm.
parents like just d- disowned them when they found out that they were like, in the LGBTQ community. So that
Yeah.
I always want to like see like other people's standpoint when it comes to that because that's a
It's
touchy subject.
Yeah, it is a toughy subject, and I think like one of it will be just more of questions. Let's ask all the relevant questions that you think like why you understand. You understand? I think that
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't come to that. In my traveling
And
journey
you're
of
right.
life. But if
Yeah.
it will come to that, it will just be a matter of like asking the relevant question, and then for me to understand and grasp all of it.
Hmm.
Holy shit. I'm still hey, I'm there go. But at the same time, it's gonna be my kids. Whatever. I will love
Hmm.
my kids no matter what.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
As you should. As you should.
Yeah, no matter what. So
Yeah. Because like Magic Johnson, his his son is now a daughter. So
mhm.
it's a
it's
lot going on nowadays. So you gotta
yeah, there's
just
a lot
be
of things
prepared.
going on. And it is a subject that's I'm not even sure if it's to really, because that's all of it is just like personal choices
Hmm.
of individuals.
Hmm.
So
Right.
yeah, those are personal, like it's personal choices.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so but yeah, and I don't think it's like it would be for me to even think of what somebody would want to be or how they feel,
Hmm.
because I remember I had a store, a clothing store, and I remember this guy came. He always come and shop to my store,
Hmm.
and he's a wonderful guy. For some reason, he liked to come, and maybe because like I can talk to him, and so I make him feel comfortable.
Hmm.
And every time he come, he will ask for dress.
Oh.
And I said, I said, is it for your girlfriend? Let me help you. Is she also my size? Whatever.
Mm.
And she said, no, it's for me.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is a very successful guy who has,
Hmm.
he's in a really good job.
Hmm.
And he said to me, he said, and he's married, he has kids, he has everything. He said to me, he
Wow.
said that I don't feel a man. It's like I can't. It's like he said I don't feel. I feel like a woman,
Hmm.
and I can feel him. So he
Yeah.
has a friend that he goes to her house and get dressed up, and he can
Oh.
be his own self
Yeah.
within himself as he felt.
Hmm. So maybe he doesn't have people that he can be open with, which is why.
I mean, this guy is working with a big company.
Mm.
He's working with a big company. He has a family. He has children,
Wait,
and
he
when
has a family with a woman or a man?
uh,
He has a family. He was married to a woman or a man?
he was married to a woman and he have children, and he's
Oh.
working with a big company.
Oh.
And so with all that, he's afraid he's gonna lose his job.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose his kids. So,
Wow.
and he's like basically suffocating. And
Mm.
the thing is, I felt him.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
felt him. I felt his pain. That because it's not an easy thing to feel like you're not being yourself.
Right.
You've been in this world and you feel like you're not yourself,
Mm.
and this is why I truly believe in freedom. I believe I will tell anybody, just be yourself. Don't even
Mhm.
care about what your whosoever, don't care about what anybody think or
Right.
feel about you. Just be your true self, because
Yeah.
the end of the day, the only person we have to live with is ourselves.
Right.
Nobody else. We were
Right.
born by alone. We're
Yeah.
gonna die alone. So why can't we live our own self by ourselves, in within ourselves? Why we have to
Hmm.
bury who we are as
Right.
people? And this is why I don't give a f.
Right. Right.
Excuse
Exactly.
my
Period.
language. That the sound say the baby,
Period.
the baby didn't hear that. Do you understand? And it's not
Yeah.
that when I said that, I don't mean I don't respect people. I don't mean I don't care, because I really do with all of my heart.
Hmm.
I do care, but I am very direct. I am not gonna
Hmm.
sugarcoat anything. I am
Period.
gonna state my feelings, and if you
Yeah.
don't like it, that is not my problem.
Right. Right.
Because sometimes, we have sacrificed, we sacrifice ourselves
Hmm.
so much, we sacrifice
Hmm.
ourselves, and inside we are dying, and
Right.
the people who we do it for, they doesn't even appreciate, they don't see us,
Right. That's a fact.
so as you go by, and that's in how I see it and how I feel, as we go by, we live, we grow, we see things, we make changes,
Mm.
you know
Right. And I feel like a lot of people not being them true self, it does stem from home because their parents didn't accept them. And that's why I asked, because a lot of people who are grown now still have their mom's voice in the back of their head, like, oh, you need to be doing this, and if they're not doing this, they're depressed, they're like out of it. So that does take an effect on the children when they become adults, because if your mom and your dad is not supportive, it does affect them as an adult.
yes, absolutely. um And you see, and this is why it's very important for us as parents to make sure that we love our children the right way. And
Hmm.
it's not just love them to be controlling, you
Hmm.
know? We
Right.
love them to guide them,
Hmm.
discipline them in the right way.
Right.
And not for them to do as I said,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
but we do what is right, and not just
Hmm.
for us as parents, because of course we want to see our children be successful, of course we want to see them grow up in the right way, but
Hmm.
it's very important for the child want some things that we want for them as well, because
Hmm.
they
Right.
have their own identity, and what the identity we are putting on them may not be who they are. And this
Right.
is why a lot of people go to university, they go to college, spend thousands of dollars, and now they don't have a job, or they have a
Right.
job in a different criteria, because they're telling mommy, this is not what I want, this is
Hmm.
what I want. And they
Right.
fail to understand, and they fail to recognize that,
Hmm.
it's loss of money. A lot of children go to university, college, because that's what their parents want, but they
Hmm.
wanted something else, but they have to show that respect.
Yeah.
Just because the parents want that as a certificate,
Hmm.
you understand? But
Especially those African parents, they don't play about their children go finishing school.
yeah, it's a lot of cultural parents,
Wicked
yeah,
piano.
like that. But I've always like believed that, okay, like my son, he went to college to study accounting business. And I asked him, I said, why did you wanted to study business? He said, for me, it was to help me because I was in business.
Hmm.
And he said, and I was very, very proud of that,
Hmm.
that and it shows that he was looking at me struggling,
Hmm.
working hard, and he wanted to do that so he can help. And I'm so
Hmm.
proud of him. I'm
Yeah.
super proud of him because that wasn't him. But,
Hmm.
it wasn't him. And I didn't
Wow.
ask him to choose that.
Mm.
That was his choice. And I
But that's
actually
the
thought,
benefits of you treating him how he needed to be treated as a child.
Exactly, and eventually he he's a trainer at the gym,
Yeah.
and
It
that's
still
really his
pays, right?
dream,
At least as long as it pays.
exactly, and he loved what he's doing. So
Hmm.
sometimes we really have to give our children, the freedom to choose who they want to be, what they want to be,
Hmm.
their path, so they can explore and they could find themselves. If we don't do that, if we choose for them, they will not be able to find themselves and know who they are as a person. They will be living
Hmm.
under the shadow of us.
Right.
A lot of children suffer because of that. They're
Hmm.
living under the shadow of our parents.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was I gonna ask? Um, did you have help raising your kids?
You mean in like their father?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
say yes, I do. But
Hmm.
different parenting skills. I didn't raise my children as a single parent. I did
Hmm.
have help raising
Hmm.
them, but it's just different parenting skills. I'll put
Hmm.
it like that.
Okay, so before you had kids, were you taught to get married before having kids?
No, I wasn't taught to get married before having kids. I wasn't taught about many things. I wasn't taught about. I wasn't. I didn't even. I wasn't taught about even becoming a young lady. I
Hmm.
remember one time I asked my mom, like, how do they how do they make children? She
Oh
said,
wow.
oh, they drop from the airplane. And I
Not
was
dropping
like,
the airplane.
I can remember myself as a little girl. And I was like, you know what? I wish that they can drop one because I would take care of it. And
Oh.
sometimes when I remember that moment, it shows like, it makes me remember how much love that I had inside as a little child,
Hmm.
It makes me,
Yeah.
it reminds me of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I seen
And
I seen a TikTok that said, I regret making being a mom a dream. Like, you know how some people just really want to be a mom before being a mom, and then when they become a mom, it's not everything that they thought it would be.
yeah,
Do you have those feelings?
that regret being a mom.
Just like have like wishful thinking of being a mother and making that like a
No,
goal for you.
I've never thought of actually. Maybe when I was, I think when maybe I was a little, I'll be like, okay, thinking about being a mom.
Hmm.
Because sometimes when you have all those thoughts,
Hmm.
but I never have any regrets of like anything when
Hmm.
it's coming and being a mom and my kids, because my children, they're the best thing that has ever happened to me,
Hmm.
because it's the way how I know what love is,
Hmm.
how to love, and actually having somebody to know 100% love me,
Right.
you know and
Hmm.
I have that love to give. So having my children, and especially for everything that I've been through and everything, even when I created my channel, I talk about some things that I've been through in my life.
Hmm.
They are the only people who basically support me. They are my great supporter. They want my like. You know.
Yeah.
So my kids, they are everything.
Hmm. I always say that because it's moments where I feel like I wish I would have waited for
Mhm.
a better opportunity to have my kids. Because I didn't have my first two while I was married. So
Mhm.
I do come up with those moments where I wish that I had my kids in a better predicament, in a better environment and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I asked.
No, and I understand. Like, I mean, there are definitely situations that I can regret, but I don't take it as regret
Mhm.
because so that's my encouragement for you. Don't think about it. Don't think about no regrets of because there's something that we could have wish, but at the same time, we don't want to go to that place. We
Mhm.
want to take it forward and see what is it we can do from now going forward.
Yeah.
So the past of those things are gone. You're on
Mhm.
you standing up on your feet, and
Mhm.
there's no time to kneel to look back down to see what's on the floor. You just hold
Right.
your head, go forward, and be the best
Mhm.
version of a parents that you can be, a best
Mhm.
version of a friend to your
Mhm.
children, and we go forward from there. Because those things that we experience in our life, and all the things that we experience in our life, is what's gonna make us stronger parents. What's
Right.
gonna give us the strength to go to more challenge, because our life is like a journey, and
Mhm.
there's gonna be road in the block. There's
Right.
gonna be stone in the block. So those things that we pass through in our life, that's what's gonna give us the energy to step over those stones or to remove those stones. But either
Mhm.
way, we're gonna go forward.
Right.
The stone is not gonna be there to block us, you know.
Mhm.
So whatever challenge come by in your life, we just have to move forward from there, and don't, whatever past, we try to rush and, focus on the future. And that is just it, because we can make, I'm not saying, like, because I did make some, there's some things that passed through in my life, you
Mhm.
know but the things that passed through in my life is why I am the person that I am now.
Mhm.
So I I can't say that I regret, because
Uh-huh.
then if I say I regret, it means that I don't accept myself for who I am now. And I
Mhm.
am so grateful for the strength that God gave me and the faith that I believe in, that
Mhm.
I can't regret anything from my past.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't be the person I am now. So then if I regret, then who am I supposed to be? I'm not the
Mhm.
person that I am now. You
Right.
understand? Because
Yeah.
that's what molds me.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Period. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
So
good
that's the
advice. You hear that, anybody that needs it? This is for
yeah.
anybody that
So
needs it.
yeah. So that's the way how I look at it. That's the way how I look at life. And I know sometimes we're gonna, there's moments that's gonna come in. We're gonna feel hurt. We're gonna
Mhm.
feel, things may not be the way how we want. We may think that we make the wrong choices. But what we're gonna do in the present moment, we can't have to think about the wrong choices. We're gonna think about how are we gonna correct those. How are we gonna go forward?
Mhm.
It's go forward. We just have to always think about growing and growing and growing and going forward, and just positive energy, you
Right.
know because, and even if sometimes you're a positive person and you think about, even if sometimes when you're a positive person, negative thoughts are gonna creep in.
Mhm.
So when negative thoughts could creep in, the questions are, what are you gonna do when negative thoughts creep in?
Mhm.
Even with the kids, when they cry too much, negative thoughts might creep in.
Mhm.
You understand? But what are you gonna do?
Right.
So what I do when negative thoughts creep in, I snapped out, because I know what I want, how I want to be as a person. I
Mhm.
don't want negative thoughts in my head, because that is just gonna slow me down.
Right.
No negative thoughts. No. So I find things to do.
Mhm.
Come online, make a video. When you have negative thoughts or any you get stressed, come make a video online, come online,
Mhm.
associate, and that's a very good help,
Mhm.
because I remember when I was pregnant with her,
Mhm.
the social media helped me a lot,
Mhm.
because I was in it was a lot, because I mean, I'm at the, at my age, I was in, that's something that I was like actually planned, and
Mhm.
I'm grateful
Mhm.
and everything like that, because she's the best cookie ever.
Mhm. She's so cute.
She's so cute, you
Mhm.
know. So, and I was like, I was going through postpartum depression,
Mhm.
and I didn't even know,
Mhm.
because when you're such a strong person and you always want to have things together, and you
Yeah.
don't actually feel it. You just know how
Mhm.
to survive. You not just
Right.
know how to remove the rock in the road. You
Mhm.
know, until when everything is too much. That's how when you feel it.
Yeah.
You know.
So, so with that being said, do you believe in therapy?
I do believe in therapy if you're not able to pick yourself up.
Mhm.
If you're not able to pick yourself up and recognize that, okay, there's a problem, you need therapists.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so in that case, I do believe in therapists. I've never had therapists, because I feel like if I have therapists, it will not be too much of a use to me. I
Mhm.
don't want to, like, honestly, because I did talk to social worker before, and they
Mhm.
actually did tell me that,
Mhm.
and which as well, I actually know that they like, Natalia. I mean, like, what can we do for you? Because it's like you have everything together. It's like I'm
Right.
not worried about you.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's
So
how I felt when I was in therapy. I had to stop because I felt like I was giving more of the advice to the therapist
then the
than I
therapist.
was getting. I'm like, what am I here for? So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna take a break. And that's when I turned to like spirituality full
Yeah.
time because I feel like when you just one with yourself, a lot of people go outside themselves to try to get themselves back together. But the
Mhm.
real thing is going within yourself and
Yeah.
finding your peace within yourself. Because if you looking everywhere else, you're gonna end up in something really bad or like
Yeah.
something out of your control. But When you look for God within you and find your peace within yourself, you can just sit down and be like, okay, I got this. This is not too much. I got this. I can get over this. But a lot of people don't have that inner thought. And that's why I'm trying to like find a way to understand, like, how do you get that momentum when you don't have that momentum? Like, how do you tell somebody, oh, just feed yourself positive things even if they're not in a positive state? So how do you get that person back to
To think
themselves?
positive.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really good question. But for me, when based on what I do when somebody's down, I will give them encouragement at the same time, not just saying give them encouragement of talking, but
Mhm.
have something that, okay, this is what you do,
Mhm.
you know not just to, like, for just talking, but also in action. Okay, this is what you do. Why don't you go and try this will be a very, very good idea, and you make
Mhm.
sure they're gonna see, like, the pros to it. That's gonna
Mhm.
help them.
Yeah.
And this is what, but that's a very, 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 very good, very good question. And,
Yeah.
like, just talking just talking, listen to somebody also, that could
Mhm.
definitely help them and understand. When you
Mhm.
can, somebody that's going through in a dark place, just listen to them and really understand them. That
Mhm.
also could hear, because sometimes somebody just needs somebody who understands them, and not just a therapist, because a
Yeah.
therapist is actually paid to
Mhm.
kind of listen and tell you
Mhm.
what they think that they should tell you for you
Right.
to feel better. But
Mhm.
when you talk to somebody else out of that therapist room, then you get to have a different feeling. You get to
Mhm.
have a different understand, to know, wow, this person listen and understand me, and that could
Mhm.
actually help somebody feel better.
Right.
And just tell them, you know what? Just get up. Just wake up.
Mhm.
Let's do it. Let's
Right.
go. There's no time for that now. Wake up, shake up, shake up.
Mhm.
Things like
Yeah.
all that could actually help somebody to kind of shake up
Mhm.
and move
Mhm.
up again, out of any type of darkness, because
Yeah.
there's a reason for darkness. A
Yeah.
darkness just need a light.
Right. And I
you
see it
know
because I said that because there's a lot of like abuse cases like
Mm.
becoming public. And I feel like that stems from people misguiding their energy. So instead of
Mm.
like doing something healthy, they take it out on their kids. So it's like it's really dark. It's a
Yeah, it's
dark
it's that
time.
it's and it is very dark, and it's very sad. And
Hmm.
I guess everybody mindset is so different,
Hmm.
because it doesn't, like, people go through a lot of stuff and they can't handle it sometimes.
Hmm.
And I think also it goes from where, if you can see the positive before the negative,
Right.
because some people, they are very good at seeing the negative, of the negative, before the positive.
Hmm.
How is it, so they go towards the negative.
Right.
But when you're able to be as
And sometimes that's all they know.
huh?
Honestly, that's all they grew up with. That's all they see. So that's
Mhm.
all they know.
Exactly. And it's a way of, it's most of the time, most of the people who see the negative is because they're so protective. They're very protective. A lot of people who will see the negative first, they are protective,
Hmm.
so they're gonna see the negative is gonna trigger them to protect.
Right.
Do you
Right.
understand? It's like a
Yeah.
trigger to protect. So they see the
Mm-hmm.
negative first. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're not able to get out of that, this is where these things come in. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people cannot able to get out of that negative part, what they're saying. But
Yeah.
somebody who always see the positive in any situation, you can deal with anything.
Right.
And we
Right.
have those two type of people in the world. There's people who see the who's very pessimistic, and people who's
Mm-hmm.
very optimistic.
Yeah. And it's hard to know the difference because some people they like to put on the front like they're mommy of the year or the daddy of the year, but then behind closed doors they ain't even doing nothing for their kids. So
That
how do
is.
you
Mhm.
so when it comes to like dealing with, say you're with somebody, right? You have a baby and you're
Mhm.
not together anymore. How do you feel about introducing that new partner to your kids?
Um. Well, holy shit. But then, if I like you, it means that there's something good about you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just like people like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, and
Yeah.
if I decide that you know I'm gonna introduce you to my children, it's because
Right.
there's something good about you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Me,
know.
I'm
So,
I'm I'm so like overprotective. It took months
mhm.
for my husband to even meet my kids before anything. So it's like I am so.
And that's not a bad thing. It is a good thing to protect them. But I believe this is something I believe with all of my heart, that not everyone, because I believe that it kind of make me not. I'm not saying I'm not protected. I am, but
Hmm.
I am. I'm not overprotective.
Hmm.
I'm not, and I believe my belief is that I don't want to punish anybody for somebody else's mistake.
Right.
And I believe that everyone deserves a fair trial. Do you
Hmm.
understand?
Hmm.
And that is the way how I see it. I believe, even like my heart is, you broke my heart.
Hmm.
I will believe in somebody else. That person doesn't mean because somebody broke my heart, I'm not gonna believe the other person is gonna do the same. I
Right.
believe in fair trial,
Hmm.
and that is what kind of definitely helped me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
So I
So
kind of
it's me.
I'm a little bit open minded on things.
Okay. That's good because not
Yeah.
everybody's like that. But
Yeah. I'm
some
a little
people,
bit.
I feel like there's two types of people. Is ones that are so quick just to show their kids, and then there's some that they take their time and they're open, but then there's some that don't play that at
Yeah.
all. Like don't play that. So I feel like it's depends on the person, I
No,
guess.
it's yeah. It all depends. It all depends, and if I'm gonna bring you into my life, and to that extent, and
Hmm.
I don't see, you know, because if we're just like dating or stuff like that, there's no reason to see like, okay, and then I know the
Hmm.
instance,
Right.
you
Hmm.
know, because me, I don't waste time. I'm very fast on picking up people energy. I'm fast on picking up people. I know if I really want you to meet my child or not, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So since you said instincts, do you believe that mother's intuition is real?
Mother inspiration.
Hmm.
If you're connect with your inner self, if you're
Hmm.
connected really with your inner self, you follow your instincts. You just,
Hmm.
I'm not saying to make every decision that your instincts tell you, but you have to watch it. You don't
Hmm.
ignore it. You
Yeah.
can't, because we can't, and it's hard to just make a decision based on what your instincts is telling you. But
Right.
you can look at what your instincts is telling you and what you're seeing from facts,
Hmm. Right.
because it's very close. When your instance is telling something, the facts reveal faster because
Hmm.
you're able to see clearly.
Right.
So when you're connect with your inner self, especially in a spiritual level,
Hmm.
you know, your
That's true.
instincts are right.
Yeah.
And we pick up on things. Woman, we figure things out. We picked up on
Right.
things very
That's
fast.
true. Right.
So
So we are coming to an hour into this
yeah.
live. It went by so fast.
I know, I went by very fast.
I just want to thank you for coming to my channel and spreading your advice and your love and your big bright energy into my channel and
Definitely.
bringing your
Anytime.
lovely princess with you. My last question,
Okay, wait,
and
baby.
if you want to say anything at the end, you're free to. But my last question is, when do you know when enough is enough having
Huh?
kids? When to know is enough when having kids?
Baby. Okay, what do you want now? What do you want, your mail bag? What was the question? She disturbed. That's okay.
It's okay. When to know that it's enough having kids?
It's enough. Well, you know when you are satisfied, when you don't want to have any more kids.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, if like me, I'm this person, okay? Like for example, I have you have your 6 kids, and then for example, you know, you might check that it did not work out with your whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet somebody and you that you love each other and they want to have kids. Like me, I believe like, okay, if you want to have kids, I will love you enough and I will say, okay, I'll have another child
Right.
because my partner wanna have another child, and that's the love for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the love that I have.
So
That I will have.
even if they're not in a predicament of having kids, even if they're not in the predicament of
If
having
what?
kids, even if they're not in the predicament of having kids, do you suggest them
Well,
having kids?
that's a personal thing, and that's something that you should that has to be talked about. Like if you're not in a situation to have children, and you know you just work on the situation, you know, if it's especially if it's like financially or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, you know, and you know you just that's something that could work in, you know, it's something that has to be talked about, and
Right.
you work in that, you know.
Okay. So, is
but
there anything else you would like to say
but
before
like
closing out?
having kids, you know, having kids are great. It's good to have kids, and you know you ask a good question, because sometimes a lot of people will say, okay, they're gonna wait until they're financially ready for children before they
Mm-hmm.
have kids. But this, like, to me, to an extent, it depends on how many kids you're gonna have to be financially ready. Because sometimes
Right.
having a child make you become more mature. You become
Mm-hmm.
more mature. You give your responsibility, make you push.
Mm-hmm.
You know you have
Right.
to go. You know you have to. The finance is gonna come,
Right.
because like I don't regret having my children at early, because now they are grown and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still young. We can enjoy. We can have
Yeah.
fun. We can talk about. You know, it's like I have a team.
Mm-hmm.
No, so
Right.
it's a great thing. You know, it's a good thing. Like, but that's a good question. Some people would want to wait until they're financially ready,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to have children, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, so that you can supply that child, especially educational wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How you can supply with that, and some people they just go and they have children,
Yeah. Do
and
you want more kids?
um, I that's I don't know if I mean, like, you know, if my man want to have more kids, I will have 10 more children.
Period.
Yes, because children are blessing. I don't. I wouldn't care what other people think. Like, oh, okay, you want to have more kids? Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
more kids.
Right.
That's children are blessing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not an obstacle. They are
Mm-hmm.
blessing, and to, you know, have those bundle of joys, have different career choices, have their
Yep.
own little mind, and you know,
Mm-hmm. And
knowing
just
that.
watching them grow is like so like it's a blessing.
Yeah, it is a blessing. That's creating life. You
Mm-hmm.
creating a whole generation,
Right.
and you know not everybody has the opportunity to have that.
Right.
You
That's
know,
a
and
fact.
it's an amazing thing. I think some, especially in some culture, they will think like when you have kids, they'll be like, oh look, they look down on some people when they have kids and say, oh look at so many
Mm-hmm.
kids you have. Like you don't know
Yeah.
about how look at how many people wish they have some.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
so
And they
children.
can't have none.
Exactly. Children to me is it's a blessing. Is we as mom, when we have our children, as I advise any mom, don't stop living. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean because you have your children you have to sit and not doing anything for yourself. You still
Right.
have to be that person who has a life,
Yeah.
beside being a mom and having children. You still have
Yeah.
to have that. You still
Yep.
have to enjoy. You still have to dance and play.
Mm-hmm.
All that
Right.
are very important, because then you have to do that for your kids as well, and
Yeah.
that's how you're going to enjoy being a mom even more, because you're
Mm-hmm.
being a mom while you're enjoying your in the what your individuality.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Individuality.
individuality,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And that is very, very, very important. This is why a lot of people fail to do that, and then they would say, okay, they don't want to be a mom anymore because they
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to separate both. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to able to separate both, and that's also usually bring a lot of problem in relationship when you
Mm-hmm.
have children, and then you just forget about yourself, or you forget about the relationship. You just focus on
Mm-hmm.
the kids only and being a mom and doing all
Mm-hmm.
these things, and you
And
forget,
you lose
okay,
yourself.
there's a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what about us? Because you have to
Right.
have that us moment with
Mm-hmm.
your husband as well,
Right.
or your boyfriend, whatever may,
Right.
and not just okay revolves just around the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why sometimes a lot of people don't want to have any more kids, is because they just make everything about the whole life about their kids, and they
Mm-hmm.
just fail to live.
Yep.
But if we can separate that and live while
Mm-hmm.
raising the kids, they would enjoy motherhood. They will enjoy being a mom more. They will see the
Right.
essence of everything because they have in both of each world.
Right. That,
Being a mom and still have your own life
yep.
besides being a mom.
Right. It's not easy though. It's not easy, but it is essential to find that balance of you time and family, work, life, have that balance.
Yes, we have to have that balance, because if we don't, that's gonna mess things up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna
Yeah,
mess things up,
mentally.
and
Yeah, mentally.
yeah, we have to find the balance. Even if, for example, like you have time. Say, for example, every 2 weeks or once a week, you make a nice supper when the kids are asleep. That's for you and your husband. That's
Mm-hmm.
finding time. Even if
Right.
you get somebody to come over to watch the kids, and you guys go out just to take a walk, maybe take an
Mm-hmm.
ice cream, and just have the me time. That is
Mm-hmm.
finding time to separate your time from the kids. And that is
Right.
it is essential, because that's what's gonna help you, even give you more energy to do your
Yeah.
mamahood thing, your mama,
Mm-hmm.
because
Right.
I have a wonderful night last night. I went to the dates. You'll be
Right.
like, oh, I have my dates,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
and
Get your
those things,
energy back.
exactly, those things are very important, right?
Yeah.
Right, honey boo?
Well, thank you again for coming to my channel.
Definitely,
It was a
definitely, and
pleasure
we kind of
having you.
absolutely anytime, anytime.
We got to
You
do this again.
definitely
We're a
we
good
can.
little duo.
Huh?
I said we're a good little duo.
Yes, we can do. We have a lot of things
I
that
need
we
to join
can.
you on your little exercise and
Yeah,
trends. But I thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to subscribe to her channel as well. Show some
definitely.
love
Let's
over to
keep
her
in track.
channel.
And if you're a mother out there, come on, come on, come on. Let's
Yes,
have
yes,
this
yes,
mother. Let's have this mother group going. Okay.
yes.
We are.
Join
We can
the
have
good energy.
babies. We
All
have
right.
babies, boobies, and bellies, but we still have it going on. Okay.
Period. Yep. We still got it going on. So thanks for everybody. Have a good night, and
Thank you.
see you on the next video.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.